Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
We are back with the Speak episode, and this is going to be episode number 9 so far, and I hope to make it double figure and triple figure
Inshallah, you will.
in those episodes. Guys, we have Miss Nadiya with us, Miss Nadiya Khan, and she is a very valuable and a strong pillar of ABQ Seeb International School, and the school relies on her. And as you know that we follow the biography, and we start with the, of course, birth and early school life, or before school life and school life and all that. We follow until you come today.
Yeah.
Okay. Major events, and we are not going to touch the religion or politics or any other thing that can be controversial or objectionable.
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We just want to talk about all what the life is all about. Okay.
Sure.
Can you tell me about yourself? Like, your name is Nadiya Khan. What else?
Well, my name is Nadiya Khan. I am originally from Pakistan. I am a mother of 2.
Oh.
And they live in Canada, so I'm working here. I am on my own as of now, but Oman feels like a big family. I've been living in Oman for 25 years now.
Wow.
And this is home. I think I've spent more of my life here in Oman than in Pakistan. So
25 years is a big time.
25 years is a long time, yeah. So I feel that I have become part of this society more than where I've come from. I just need to learn the language, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you came here or you were born here?
Well, I wish I was 25, but I'm not. No, I came here. I got married and I came here.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, in our culture, it is very common for girls to get married at a very young age. So I also belong to a family where girls generally get married at a very young age. So I was, yeah.
Like I was surprised to see, I remember, I was surprised to see your daughter here.
Yes.
And she was looking like way too like,
yeah.
just she had passed our teenage and
Yes.
And I was looking at
she's
like
my
really?
younger.
She's the younger one.
She's the younger one. So I have a son who is 24, mashallah.
Mashallah.
And I have a daughter who's 20.
Oh, great,
Mashallah.
great. My eldest one is 17 right now.
Wow.
So
mashallah.
I'm looking like, oh my God, oh really?
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
Early age, yes, it is very common in Pakistan that girls getting early age and boys getting very late age.
Yes, it is becoming more common, especially boys becoming. And now girls are also getting married late because they have started their careers and everything.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
But traditionally, it was different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where were you born? Lahore?
So yes, I was born in Lahore. It's a very culturally rich city. Mughals, a lot of buildings are there, a lot of monuments are there. So I have, I love the vibe in Lahore. So yes, I am from Lahore.
Great.
And I love Lahore.
Any particular part of Lahore?
I was born in an area called Model Town.
Model Town.
Yeah, so my mom and my dad had a house there, so that's where I was born.
Is it not famous for the Sharif family?
It is.
They were your
famous,
neighbors?
Yes, well, not technically, but close by.
Close by.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So you used to get any political vibes from them?
No, I think that's what I was saying, that I was 19 when I left Pakistan, and I don't remember much of political scene, but what I remember is my family, my cousins, the weddings, the food. I think when you're a teenager, you're just trying to find that age that you're growing up, and you consider a grown up, so called, but you're still a child. So I think I had a very small world that I used to live in, which was just my college, my family and my parents.
Okay.
I was not allowed for sleepovers, I didn't have much friends.
No sleepovers.
So yeah.
Still, like in my family, there is an issue about it.
Yeah.
I don't allow much sleepovers.
Yeah, that was not allowed.
Okay. How about before going to school, like as a timeline thing, the first thing comes the first is school. Do you remember anything before going to school? Doing something? Before you started the school? Yeah, way too back.
No, not really actually. I don't remember, but there's a very funny incident. I don't know, maybe I was in the school at that time or maybe before. So my mom used to teach us not to play with blades.
Okay.
You know, my father used to shave and she used to say, "Don't touch this blade. You'll cut yourself." And one day I thought my mom was not home, and I said, my mom is always trying to scare me, so I want to try today. So I actually tried to cut, and it actually obviously cut. And my mom was so upset. She was so upset. I told you not to do it. So that was the first or the last time that I tried something that my mom told me not to.
Was there anybody home at that time?
No, my mom had gone out. And
who took care of you while your mom returned?
I don't even remember. Maybe she came back or something. But it was not that bad.
Okay.
But there was a little bit, tiny bit of blood, and yeah. Okay. But that taught me a lesson for life. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, like I remember, my brother was teaching me how the current is not so good.
Yes. Yes.
So he asked me to touch the plug. And I did, and then that was,
you realized not to do it again.
Yeah. But the thing is, like then I was careful, and I did a lot of electricity work at my home.
Very good.
So I got careful afterwards.
Yeah.
Not to touch it, but do the things that you have to do. Okay. So do you remember your pre-primary school, or did you have any pre-primary school at that time?
I don't
because
think
it's still new.
Yeah, I know my mom tells me that I went to school when I was 3. So I'm assuming no, it was because pre-primary school is earlier than 3. So I think no, probably.
No. So 3 means you were going to KG.
KG, yes.
And when you went there for the first time, like your mom dropped there, how was it?
I don't remember at all. I don't remember.
Some children are so already prepared for it.
I think I was prepared because I loved my school generally, and what my mom tells me that I was always, teachers used to love me and everyone used to love me. I used to not cry. I was a very, they call me a peaceful bird in my family.
Okay.
They say that I don't know if I'm too lazy or I don't know.
What's the word for it exactly?
Aman ki fakhta.
Aman ki fakhta.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a dough for the peace.
Yes, yes.
Really symbolic.
Yeah, right. So I don't know if I was too lazy or something, but it went well. Yeah.
And you are very sarcastic when you say you were lazy, and then that represents the peace.
Probably.
The peace is lazy as well.
Probably. That's what it was, probably.
Okay. Fine. Good. Then how long did you stay in that school? For a couple of years?
So I went in the school in KG and I graduated from there. I never changed the school.
Wow,
yes.
okay.
So we don't, after that I went to Canadian College and I never changed the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
In those about more than 12 years, because higher secondary is 12 years, and then you were in KG, of course 2 years there, 14 years almost there.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that because like it was in the neighborhood, only available nearby?
No, it was a good school. And then after me, my brother and my sister also got enrolled in that school, and I think it was easier for my parents to pick and drop. And I feel now it has become a common thing here. I've noticed that people tend to change school.
Yeah.
In the country that I've come from, or the family that I've come from, if you're satisfied, you go in KG and you graduate. So there were
and becomes your family school since your siblings join and your cousins are also coming.
So the teachers knew my father, my mother. I knew my teacher's family. My principal had literally he made me his daughter. I used to go in his room and sit when my dad used to be late to pick us up because he used to work in bank and he used to leave a little bit later. So you know, and there are a lot of class fellows that had enrolled with me, have graduated with me.
Oh, really?
And we are still in touch. So I think it was a very normal thing at that time.
You know, that reminds me of a joke that is very common in Pakistan about how nowadays schools are so different.
Yeah.
They are so pushy when it's come to the money. For the stationery, for this day, green day, blue day, bring the money, picnic, trip, everything. So the joke says that one day they will be asking, you know, the rights in inheritance.
That's a good one.
Put us in the will. When you die, we get your property like that. But it was good. Like it was like a second home.
It was.
When you're staying there for longer time.
It was.
And when you're switching a school, it turns out that you are just a guest.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it takes a long time to adjust in a new school.
Like I did my grade 10 from matric, we call it, and from one school. I stayed there for 7 years. I only came to that school because we changed the neighborhood.
Okay.
So previously I was in one school until grade 2.
Okay.
From grade 3 I started and I stayed there.
Okay.
Even my siblings were there, my younger siblings were there, my cousins were there, you know, family school.
Exactly. It was a similar situation.
Yeah. So, you know, if we divide the school into 3, like KG part and primary and secondary. KG part, anything happening in the school, you were going to stage or doing some trip or something, you remember?
Yeah, I used to be always participating in fancy dress competitions.
Good.
And I still have pictures, and every fancy dress competition when I was in KG and when I was in primary, I was dressed as a bride.
Oh,
I don't know why, but all the pictures that
Is that your mom's dream to see you in
I actually asked her this time when I met her this time. We were in Pakistan a few weeks back, and I told her we were sorting out our old pictures, and you know, in every picture I was a bride, and I would ask my mom, I said, why was I bride in every picture? Was it your dream for me to just, the moment I'm born, I get married, or what was it? So she said, no, it was chosen by the school.
Ah, okay.
I don't know who chose it, but in every...
Then there must be your other mom in the school, the teacher,
Clearly.
who always fancied you as a bride.
Probably. So yeah, that's what I remember.
Okay. There was a fancy dress show for my son in Oman, so we prepared him for the suit.
Okay.
And it was for the professions. And I said, go and tell them I'm the boss. That's it. That's my profession.
Oh, that's nice.
He was
That's
in
a nice
KG.
one. That's a nice one. Yeah.
So these are some of the things that we put in the children's mind from the beginning.
Yeah.
But the bride thing, and you got married earlier?
I was, yes. My mom thought that was the right thing to do.
Of course. So, beside that, were you good in sports in the pre-primary, I'm saying?
No, I wasn't. I was not a sports person, but I was big in debates. I was big in...
That must be in the primary then?
In secondary.
Or secondary.
Okay. I was very interested in debating, and I was interested in performing art. So every function that school had, I was doing something. I was having a speech, and I was good in my grades also. So
I will ask you about the secondary.
Yeah.
Okay, about primary, like bride is the 2 years for bride and KG.
Yeah.
How about in primary? What's happening in primary?
I don't remember actually. I think everything was well. That's why sometimes no news is a good news.
No incident.
Yeah, no news is a good news.
No incident. All peaceful.
Yeah, no. I think it was. I just remember that I was. My parents would always tell my siblings to study like me. I don't know. That was in primary or secondary. I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, I think everything was fine.
For example, what I remember when they used to change the years, and I still remember. When they changed from 84 to 85 and from 85 to 86, my teacher used to write on the board. I still remember, like, how is it changing so quickly?
Yeah.
Right now, I see that as a, like, you know, blink of an eye. But at that time, it was, of course, a full year.
Yeah, that's true. But even now, it feels like blink of an eye.
Yeah. For example, my childhood memory about Eid is that first day Eid al-Azha, second day is Eid al-Fitr, first day Eid al-Fitr, second day Eid al-Azha. That's my memory.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the 2 months between them.
Yes, can you believe it?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're in secondary.
Yeah.
We are jumping very quickly because the events are. Okay. Do you remember going to the stage for the first time for the speech?
Yes, I think I vaguely remember. I vaguely remember I was a bit conscious. I didn't want to forget my speech, and there were so many people sitting in front of me. My parents gave me a lot of confidence to speak, but I was scared. I remember
Oh my
I was
gosh.
scared, yes. And I practiced and I practiced. It went up well. It gave me confidence in the end. But before I stepped onto the stage, I was scared.
Too much.
Yeah.
And was it your first, like, did you win anything? Was that a competition?
No, it was not a competition. It was, people would choose different topic and they would just speak about it. And it was pre-decided, so they had given us a topic that I had prepared my speech for and against of some topic, and yeah, I conducted my speech.
Actually, in Pakistan, we have a lot of days that we celebrate
Yeah.
related to our country. Like
Yeah.
our national day is
Yeah.
14th August, then 23rd March,
Yes.
and Defense Day, then
Yes.
Qaid-e-Azam Day,
Yes.
and Allama Iqbal Day.
Yeah.
We have so many days to celebrate, and schools especially do a special activity, stage activities on
events,
that.
yeah, you're right.
And we get a lot of opportunity to go to the stage
Yes,
for that.
yes.
Okay. So it must be one of them.
Yes, it was one of them. I don't remember exactly what.
Do you remember the topic? The first ever?
I think it was co-education.
Okay. Were you in
Yeah.
favor or against?
I'm in favor.
You were in
Yeah,
favor.
I'm in favor. I'm in big favor of co-education because I strongly believe that once children, once they graduate, they are going to go to a real world where they will have different colleagues who will have male or female, and you know, so they should be able to know how to deal and handle, and you know, in real life situations. So I'm in big favor.
You know, my first topic of debate in grade 8, I remember, it is necessary to do cheating in the exam.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Really?
So
and I was in favor of it.
You were favor, okay.
And out of 11 people, I got a consolidation prize, we can call it 4th position. And my competitors were those whose speeches were written by their parents, professors, and you know, lecturers in Urdu. But I had prepared my own speech.
Ah, okay.
Even
so
then, I got 4th position.
Yeah.
It was fun, like the topic, and I was in favor, and then I got the 4th. Wonderful.
And I'm sure you remember it very fondly.
Of course, of course. Still, I have the script somewhere in Pakistan.
Oh.
Like I haven't, like I keep the things.
Wow.
Yeah. It is with
Wow.
me. Anyway, how about performing something?
Yeah, so I used to, yeah, it may sound funny, but yeah, in our school there were a lot of dancers also. So I love dancing. So I used to have like a group dance with my class fellows on something or some song that I would prepare.
Of course, some national songs most of the time.
Sometimes it was not even national song. There's a special form of dance, Ludi we call it.
Yeah, of course.
So sometimes it was not. It was like any movie song, and we would perform on the stage. So yeah, I had done a lot of that also. And our weddings are also full of those. So I love dancing. Yeah.
How about performing in any tableau?
That was not my thing.
Okay.
I was never, I think I carry my emotions on my sleeve. So I think I'm not a good actress, and I don't think I can portray something which is not connected to my heart. I think I'm pretty transparent. So I never tried to be part of acting. I've done modeling. But where I'm still, and you take a picture of my face or the dress I'm wearing, but I don't think I'm cut out to be an actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because tableau is a traditional thing in Pakistan where there's a song going on in the background and people are performing different things in front.
I must have done
Most often it is patriotic thing they are doing.
I must have done, but it's not something that which has stayed with me. I must
because
have done something.
The war of 65, India-Pakistan war, has given us various memorable songs, patriotic songs.
True.
And those used to be part of our school activities. Some people singing them, some people performing them or playing them. So many things are happening. Okay, tableau is one of my thing, like I did, and I even conducted and got positions as well.
Oh, wow.
So performing that way, like music is going on, even in Bustan Palace in Muscat, we did one for the you know, environment.
Okay,
but it was all performed on music.
Okay.
So there was no dialogue.
Okay.
Anyway, acting you'd never tried, but modeling you said you tried.
I have.
Was it part of your school thing or afterwards?
No, surprisingly. So I would just go to a parlor for something, and they would say, we need a model, would you do modeling? We like your features. And I say, okay. And then I'll ask my dad and my mom, and they're all the time they're with me. So they are there.
Okay.
And my dad or mom are pretty liberal that way, in the sense that as long as they're there and they know where their daughter is, they're fine. So I had, so that's how I had done few. Okay. One time I remember there was a bride competition again.
Okay, okay.
So I actually won the first prize in that bride competition. And I was, probably because I was the only one who was wearing white and everyone else is wearing red, probably that was the reason. But yeah, so my big picture came in the newspaper, so that was one. And then few times I've done for few magazines and few people here and there, whoever. In Oman I've done for few parlors, just like more on a friendly basis.
Okay. Okay. In your secondary school and primary school, KG, now I really want to know if you remember any of the teachers who left a big impression in your life, or you still remember them for something very good.
Yes. So my principal himself has left a very big impact on my confidence. He has never taught me, but he was so approachable. I remember I was probably in primary. Yeah, I was probably in primary now talking, I just remembered. As I said, when my dad used to be late to pick us up, I would just knock on his door and I would say, I am bored, can I come and talk to you?
Oh.
And he would say, yeah, sure, come sit. So I would talk to him about anything and everything that would come in my mind, and he would give me pens and I would write, and once or twice he gave me a present of a pen. So that gave me a lot of confidence. It was like a big thing for my parents that, wow, she's
communicating and interacting with the principal.
And you know, but for me he was a friend, you know. So I would just go to just as if
generally principals are so authoritative, and the children are scared of them.
He was authoritative, and children were scared of them. From him, but I wasn't. I was like, you know, I was genuinely bored, and I said, can I come and speak to you? And he said, yeah. So that became like a pattern.
Yeah.
I would go to him. Him and his wife used to run the school. I don't think I had many conversations with the wife.
Do you remember the name?
Mr. Wahab.
Mr. Wahab. Is he still there?
No, he's not alive anymore.
He's not alive. May God give him the peace and the best place.
So,
because they are the people, the teachers are the people who made us.
Yes.
And we cannot just walk away without naming them and talking about them.
No. And we are not only him. We had I had Mr. Manzoor, I had Mrs. Atik, I had Miss Nahid who taught me biology. I had Miss Romana. So I had a lot of teachers in school which had left an impression, and even in college. And luckily one of my teacher who taught me in college is living in Oman.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Are you in touch with him?
I am.
Of course.
I am
of course. Oman, and like, though we have been living here for a very long time, still I see that it's a smaller place.
It is.
We are in contact with more people here.
Yeah.
And you can hardly miss anybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, in your secondary school, when you went for the board exams that we call in grade 9 and 10, how was that? Stressful? It
was very stressful because...
Did you go for the, O levels and
No, I did metric.
No,
I did local curriculum. So it was very stressful because I wanted to go to Kinnaid College, which is one of the best colleges in Lahore. And it is a very tough competition in that college to get. So I was stressed out, but I was confident that I'll be able to make it. And funny enough, when I used to go and write my exams, my parents used to sit outside for 3 hours. My dad and my mom, and they would drop me and they would pick me, and that is a very clear memory that I have.
Wow.
My parents were really involved. They were really involved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really amazing because what I remember when my exams started in grade 10, first grade 9 exams were internally conducted, and grade 10 we had to go somewhere else.
Same.
And that was the time like we were allowed that we can skip the uniform.
Ah, okay.
So what I did first, selected the pants and shirts from my brother's wardrobe, that these are the ones that I'm going to wear.
I think I still went in the uniform probably. Knowing me, I would have gotten a uniform.
Yeah. So it was that thing that I still remember about being in grade 10's exam.
Yeah.
Okay. Grade 11 and 12 were in the same school again.
No, I actually did metric, and after that I went to the college.
And why did you choose that college? You said it was one of the best?
First reason was there was no uniform.
Okay.
That was the only college which didn't have uniform. And Kinnaird College had a class to it, I felt. And not only class, visual class, it was best of the best in terms of student grades.
Okay.
Not everyone could go to Kinnaird College. And Kinnaird College was a brand, you know. So I wanted to be part of that educational institute. I wanted to study there. I wanted to experience that life. That's right.
Oh, good. And before we speak more about the college, do you remember, like, as you said, you are still in touch with some friends from there? Any friend there? From school?
School, yes. I have a friend who lives in Canada. Her name is Lala Rukh. I'm in touch with her.
Good.
I have a KG friend.
She must be acting like a godmother to your children.
Well, I wish, but I don't see her as often. She's busy in her own life. But one person who is very close to me until now is my childhood friend Azam. So he got admitted in the school, registered in the school the same day I did. And we graduated together. And he was very good in sketching. So, and I've come from a family of artists. All my family is, they are sculpturists, they're artists, and so there is a very known college, NCA.
Yes.
So, I would sit with Azam, and when I see his biology diagrams or his geography diagrams, I would always look at his notebook and I would tell him, you should go to NCA. And he had no idea what NCA was. So then he said, okay, fine, I'll ask my mom and dad. And he researched, and he has graduated from NCA now, not now, many years back. And he's doing so well. He's working with one of the best brands as their official photographer. And he has made a very beautiful house, a very beautiful family. And so whenever we sit now at this age, and he always tells me, I can't forget, it's because of you, because you told me that I should go to NCA.
Believe me, NCA is a big, big institute for art, fine arts especially. Miss Muniza Hashmi used to run it, I think.
Yes.
And then, like, still, it's a big dream for anybody in Pakistan who wants to learn art. It's a big dream. And they don't get easy admission.
No, I wanted to go, but I got rejected. And he wanted to go, my class fellow, and he got accepted. His art was much better than mine.
Because they have a very strict policy to give admission.
Very strict. Though my cousins are teaching in the institute.
Oh, really?
They studied there, and now they're teaching sculptures and things, but still it was very difficult for me to get admission.
Because the graduates from there are all doing remarkable things all around. I still remember the ones who brought the change in the media, those Jawad, and Faisal Qureshi, and
big difference.
Hassan, they were all from there, NCA, and they started and brought big change in the monotonous comedy that we used to have. They brought a new stream, new ideas, all that. And they all started from that college.
From that college,
I
think NCA unlocks your creativity. And we need that in new generation.
And especially in Pakistan.
To be honest, I think everywhere in the world.
Of course. But when we talk about in our country's perspective, then we need more fresh air.
We need more creative minds.
More creative minds. And we are creative. And we dominate in most of the places where we go.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And we have an example.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Okay. So these are the two friends, and then you got to Kinnaird College. What if they were not going to accept you because of your result or for any other reason.
I had a backup plan.
Guys, we are in a school, the school bell is ringing right at time. Okay.
I had a backup plan.
Okay.
So there is a college called Home Economics.
Okay.
I wanted to go to Home Economics otherwise, because Home Economics, I find that topic, what they teach, I found it very interesting, because it teaches you how to run a house,
Good.
how to run a home. So it teaches you how to cook, how to sew, how to stitch, how to do home budgeting. So if I would have not been able to go to CNED, then my second option was Home Economics.
So what was happening about being a doctor?
I never aspired to be a doctor.
No, but in Pakistan, every girl has to be a doctor.
Yes,
every boy has to be an engineer.
Yes, you're right. Because
your friend is going to become an artist, and you're going to do something else.
Because when my grades used to be good in school, my dad always would tell my pupos and everyone, oh, she'll be a doctor. I want her to be a doctor. And I used to say, Baba, but I don't like biology so much. I don't want to be a doctor. I was always toward art. But he said, no, you're really good in studies, you're going to be a doctor. So yes, that was there. But then again, my parents were very accommodating in understanding that, you know, I want to do something else and I may not be happy if I become a doctor. And
so there was a wish, but no pressure.
No pressure, but I still want to fulfill his wish. Because I told him, he's no more, my dad. So I used to tell him, Baba, I'll do PhD.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I always said, Baba, you wanted me to
so
be a doctor.
So Nadiya Khan will not be only Nadiya Khan,
no,
it will definitely become Dr. Nadiya one day.
Yes,
inshallah.
Inshallah, that's the plan.
That's great, that's really great. Like having the title of doctor, anyhow.
Yes, that's what I told my dad. I said, I won't let you down. I know I did not become a medical doctor, but I promise I will be a doctor.
A doctorate, rather. Good. And then in CNED College, did you do sciences or did you go for the art?
I did applied psychology. I was very interested in applied psychology. I wanted to be a criminal psychologist. And I got good grades. I got a scholarship, but by that time I was married. But yes, I studied applied psychology.
And criminal psychology, like how I see it, FBI, CIA.
Yeah, and my
CSI series, you know.
Yes, and my mom thought that I will live my life in jails. So maybe that was another reason that she said, well, let's get her married. That she, even if she gets a scholarship, she won't be able to study what she wants to study.
Good.
But yeah, I wanted to be a criminal psychologist.
Good. So then you must be watching some criminal series on TV?
At that time, no.
But now
I'm not a TV person. I
You're
don't.
not.
I don't watch a lot of TV. It's not. I find it waste of time. But at that time, I didn't watch anything because my parents would always be watching news.
And there used to be only one channel.
There is only.
But
and
they started
only one
very
TV.
late, multiple channels.
Yes, and there was only one TV, one channel.
One channel, one
and
TV.
I would be that type of person. I was very disciplined. I know 9 o'clock the news start and 9 o'clock I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I was that, even when I was in college, I was very disciplined. So I didn't have much time for TV. But when I studied psychology, I found it interesting.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I wanted to go in criminology, because I wanted to understand what goes in the mind.
Yeah.
You know,
it is
intrigued
interesting.
me. Yeah.
It is interesting, and it is a need of the society to understand them.
Yes.
It's not just for fun. It is not just any other academic. It is because society is made of a lot of people.
Yes.
And having a criminal mind is not just one thing.
Yeah.
It develops from somewhere.
Yeah.
That somebody finally decide to commit something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And something is forcing him.
Yes, and there's a pattern.
There must be.
So that's what I wanted to do.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So what happened in the college that your parents decided to get you married?
Actually, nothing, because my mom, you know, she believed in early marriages for her daughters. So other than psychology, what I took, I just took some subjects which were like, you know, whatever subjects. But my mom was always of the view that girls should get married early.
Good.
You know, and so I knew that it's coming sooner or later. So and yeah, so nothing much happened. No, there was no reason, but my parents thought that.
I am in favor of your mom's perspective.
Yeah.
But not for only girls.
Yeah.
Boys and girls both should get married earlier.
Yeah.
And what I see, like past century, marriage was not related to the economic condition. It used to be a marriage with the age. That's it.
That's true.
You know, since your daughter is going somewhere, you're also taking somebody's daughter at your home.
Yes.
So it's nothing big deal.
Yeah.
Like there used to be a time, like I remember my mom telling me that grandfather used to run the family and the children used to have all that random jobs and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was not necessary for the groom
to be stable enough.
Get
married. Yeah.
And this stability is changing.
Yeah.
It used to be a job. Now it is becoming a bigger job with a car, with a house, with a flat.
There's always something more.
Until then, the guy is already 40.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And nowadays, I think both husband and wives work, so it has become easier. If there is a compatibility, there's understanding, then it has become, because now the culture is both of them work together.
Yeah. It is like that. So, your husband?
Yeah.
Cousin? Neighbor? No. Nearby, relative, somehow?
Never had seen him before.
Your mom caught him in some wedding, or they caught you?
No, that was also not the case. So what happened? I think their family member was looking for someone for his cousin or brother or someone, I remember.
Not for him?
Not for him, for his cousin.
Okay.
So and my mom she does a lot of hair for people. So she said, okay, I'll bring that girl, because she didn't want to make a burden on that family. So she said, I will bring her, and you guys can come and see. So his sisters came to see my second cousin.
Okay.
So I must have been somewhere in the garden or in the car porch or somewhere. So then they asked that, who is this girl? So my mom said that she's my daughter, and then said, we also have a younger brother. So that's how it just started.
Okay.
And he was living in Muscat.
This is decent. This is decent because there is another culture in Indo-Pak, like India and Pakistan, where people go for bride hunting.
Yeah.
Okay. No, and then sometimes only parents are going.
Yeah.
With their daughters.
Yeah.
And sometimes the groom is also going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and they are pretty broad-minded.
And then they have the bride, to be bride has to bring the tea and samosa and has to claim that I have made the samosa myself.
I eventually had to do it when my husband came. I had to take chai and everything. But
so traditional. There's nothing wrong in the tradition.
Yeah.
But showcasing the way that is going on most often is not that appropriate.
Yeah, it's not.
But it is also a part of the tradition. We cannot just deny that the tradition is wrong. We cannot say that.
Yeah.
It's also like, how else do you expect a bride to come and sit with the family at that time?
Yeah.
When the to-be husband is there.
Yeah, I know what
so this is one way like to break the ice. Okay, tea is coming.
Yeah. But now I would want my kids to know them, their spouses.
It is now changed.
Yeah.
We are in 21st century and our culture and tradition have evolved. I don't say that it has, degraded itself or nothing.
Yeah.
No, evolved.
Yes, it has evolved.
Still we are with the decency and we are still following some of the norms, most of the norms and values. And of course, religion is also a biggest guideline for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it has evolved that we have opened up a little more, but we still are cultural people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so like I remember when there is no formal proposal, then this was used to happen like, okay, come to my home, I'll bring the girl from that, and that will be informal interaction.
Yes, it was like that.
It was like that. Okay, good. So, when was it? After how many days like your husband came, to be husband? And then you had to bring the tea.
What I remember that when he came, after 2 days was my nikah. That's what I remember.
Oh. And were you told before? How long ago did you know that you are going to get married?
2 days.
2 days before?
2 days my nikah. So when I served the tea, that's when I was told.
And not before that?
There was, sometimes in Pakistan you have a lot of proposals. People come, go, you don't really take it seriously. Whatever your parents will decide, whatever is the right thing to do. But that day I was told that yes, day after tomorrow you're going to have your nikah.
After the tea?
After the tea.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, just for curiosity, and this was the first visit of the husband?
Yes.
And previously there were other proposals coming?
Yes.
Good.
But I had never spoken to him, so I didn't know him.
You didn't know him?
Yeah.
So within 2 days you got nikah?
Yes.
What was your first reaction when you were told you have a nikah after 2 days?
I was so excited for new clothes. I was so excited. I'll have new clothes, jewelry. I'll go to the parlor. I'll look nice, and there will be so many people.
Good.
And I've gone to so many people's wedding. So many people will come to my wedding. I was just excited about
the bride
that.
thing is following you from the KG.
The bride thing, yes, exactly.
Okay.
I was just excited to
so
be a bride.
there was no crying, give me time, I want to study.
I think I was too naive. Okay. I think I was too obedient. And
why didn't you tell me, let me choose, something like that?
No, I think I was
Let me find out more about him.
I was too obedient. I'm the eldest of the family, and my sister makes fun of me. She said, you have obedience syndrome. So yeah, no, I am. I until today, if there is anything, I call my mom and I ask her, should I do this? Is it the right thing to do? Even if I have to change a job, buy a car, start a business, anything. My mom is a very big influence in my life until today.
I hope that she already knows that we are sitting here.
She does.
Good.
Actually, you know what? I called her yesterday, and because she lives in Canada, she didn't answer. I called her today, and she said, I have flu. Don't call me now. I said, okay, fine, I'll call you tomorrow. So tomorrow I will call her and tell her.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to tell her today.
Okay. So after nikah, you came to Muscat. How much time it took?
I had my nikah in, I think, April. And then he came to Muscat because he was working here. And then I got married in July.
So what's his name?
Imran.
Imran.
Yes. Imran Tahir Khan.
Imran Tahir Khan. Okay. About that period of time between nikah and the formal wedding. Okay. How was that time? You are still in college?
I was studying, yes.
Grade 12?
No, by that time I was
graduating?
Giving my bachelor exams.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was giving my bachelor exams, and as far as I remember, I think my mayo was on the last exam day of something of that sort. So it was a bit of a rushed wedding because, in summer everyone is off and everyone needs.
How would you explain what is mayo to the non-Indo-Pak people?
Okay, so mayo is the time when girls, so-called, they sit in the house and they are not supposed to be getting ready, wearing any jewelry. Everything has to be very simple until they get married. So they say that the bride becomes more beautiful on the day. So that is the day where you stop dressing up and stop putting makeup or doing anything basically.
But I remember it as a yellow day.
It is a yellow day.
It is a yellow day because turmeric powder?
Yes, they put.
Yeah.
So that you look more beautiful. I don't know why would you look beautiful if you're pale and yellow. I really don't know. But yes, they put yellow things and you look like as if you have jaundice or something. No.
And how would you see that? It is like an antiseptic? It is like antibacterial or something?
Maybe in olden days this was an indication of beauty. Maybe it clarifies your skin, I don't know, but it definitely leaves your skin
and the party
yellow.
itself is full of fun because everybody is trying to put that.
So it's like a first function of the whole wedding.
Yeah,
thing.
whole wedding.
So that's when it officially starts.
Yeah. So it is mayo and then mehendi.
Yes.
And
then there was barat.
Decorating your hands
and
everybody and feet sometimes, right? And then mehendi has to come from the groom's house.
I don't think mine came. I think I went to the parlor. No. I put it myself because I like those traditional designs. I'm not like a very complicated mehndi person. I'm pretty simple, so I did my own mehndi. Probably my father got it. I don't remember who got it, but I put it myself.
Good. And then the Barat and Walima and everything.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And finally, you came to Oman in 2000?
2000, no, not 2000, 1997.
1997, okay.
1st of August, 1997.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the year I went to university for the first time.
Ah, okay. That's when I came to Oman.
And I wasn't married.
Ah, okay.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Okay, 1997 is way too far from 2022. 25 years now. Okay. And you're living in Ruvi?
No, when I came, I was living in Shati. Close to Hyatt Regency.
Okay.
So that's where I was living. Then I was living in MQ.
Okay.
I lived for a small period of time Al Khoy, but then we went back to MQ.
And now you're in MQ?
No, now I'm in Kuram. I've moved 2 years back.
2 years back. Okay. And when you came here for the first time after Lahore, Lahore has got wind, Lahore has got summer and winter, and Lahore has, you know, food and so many things.
And family.
Okay. How was it? Like
Peaceful.
you also know the transition of Muscat developing,
Yes,
Oman
I have.
developing.
Yes.
You have a
it was nothing.
first-hand
There was
experience.
nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing in Oman. See, the thing is, when I came, I remember I came on 1st of August, and the moment I landed, I came out of the plane or airport or something. It was a very warm night, and I thought that there is some fire somewhere close by,
My God.
because of which the temperature is like, you feel like there is a fire somewhere. But then I realized after 2-3 days, this is the weather.
This is the
That was the first impression of the weather. The house I came in was beautiful. The country is beautiful. When I came, I was just a bit bored and lonely because I've come from a house of 5 people. And here I had no friends. I had my in-laws, thank God.
Okay.
My in-laws were there, so that was, at least there was someone that I could go and speak to. And it was a very different life from where I have come. I had come from a very simple middle class family, and my father was a banker. And you know, as I told you, when I was writing my exam, my parents would sit outside. I was not allowed for sleepovers, and I was not allowed to have a lot of friends. I was always taught that family is everything. So when I came, this was a very different life for me.
You know, Lahore has always been the second highest populated country in the city in the country. Okay,
Yeah.
and if you compare entire Oman's population, is way too lesser
Yeah.
than Lahore.
Yeah, and especially when you don't even know anyone here.
Ah.
Yeah, that's
And when you go out, you don't see people.
yeah, you don't see people.
If you are part of bigger cities, then you don't see people. Even if there is a rush, you say, where is the rush?
Yes, where is the rush? Exactly. Especially when you come back from Pakistan or you live in Pakistan, it's very different.
I was born and lived and grew up in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Hyderabad has got a strange phenomenon about weather, that all the day is the hottest day, but after Maghrib it is cool, wind, breeze coming. Oh my God, amazing.
Really?
Like by 12 o'clock, like we used to sleep on the rooftop, right? And you can't sleep without a sheet on you or sometimes
like a blanket.
Yeah. It gets so cold.
So in daytime, what would be the temperature? How much is the variation?
About 45, 40.
And in the evening?
Evening it drops. It
To
drops.
15,
you won't believe.
20?
Yeah, like that.
Wow,
like that.
that's a big
right?
jump.
And then like I lived all my life like that. When I got out of Muscat airport, I thought, okay, it is going to change. It is going to change.
Yeah.
But it never
It
changed.
never did. Yeah,
Never changed.
I know what you mean.
Though the weather is still the same, but I got used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Those who visit us, they tell us, what's happening? No, you will get used to it.
Yeah. And the thing is, this place is so peaceful.
So peaceful.
And it is so nice. People are so nice that I think once you live here for so long, I'm not sure if you are able to live this peacefully anywhere else in the world.
Okay. Let's continue your academics. You got admission here in Majan College.
I was working in Majan College.
You were working here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As?
I was deputy head of secondary, registration.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't forget secondary, but registration. I was deputy head of registration. So I was looking after the registration, similar job that I'm doing here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you graduated also at the same time?
So when I was working there, I found out that they give one scholarship to the best staff. So when I was working there, I really wanted to study because my scholarship from Pakistan that I could not achieve was stuck in my mind. So I started working towards that, and then I was selected for that scholarship. So I did my MBA from there.
MBA from there.
Yeah.
What about your graduation?
I did.
You did the exams before coming here?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And the results were as expected?
As expected, and that's why I got a scholarship.
And the wedding pressure did not pressurize you much? Did not give you much
No,
stress?
I think because I was so interested in psychology.
That's fine.
It was just natural to me.
And it did not go very long, like you were told 2 days before the nikah and everything. So it.
In April, my nikah was done, and in July I got.
You couldn't get a chance to get stressed.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So you did your masters here, and how was it? Like you were always doing very well in most of the places before.
Yeah. I was. So I actually didn't start my career in Oman from the time I landed. I had my son in '98, and I was full-time mother, a housewife. And in 2002, my daughter was born. And then when my daughter was born, I thought that I should start studying. I should go back to studying. So I did my Montessori course from here, from National Montessori Center. And after that, I became an early childhood teacher. I'm a qualified early childhood teacher. But I didn't like that profession partly also because I had young children and I would stay with others' young children the whole day, and then I would go back to my own young children. So I felt that I didn't have patience for my children. Okay. So I thought to myself, I have to do something else. So then where I used the Montessori course that I did, I had a friend whose husband was working in Majan College. So she called me and she said, I like your attitude and the way you deal with people. So we are looking for deputy head of registration. So I told her, I said, I've just done bachelor's in applied psychology and I've just done my Montessori. I'm not qualified for this job. So she said, no, we're not looking for, it's not the qualification that we need, we just need communication skills.
Okay.
I said, okay, fine. She said, you come for an interview. I said, fine, I'll come for an interview. I went for an interview and they selected me. Oh. And I got the job. So I got the job, that's when I did my MBA because also I didn't want to be a teacher at that time. So then I did my MBA from there, and then after that I resigned after completing my MBA and completing my tenure, and then I was offered a job in Azan bin Qais.
Okay, not so fast. Okay, not so fast. You are still in Azan bin Qais, so not so fast. Yeah. So, how was it like studying in the same college where you were working as a, deputy head of registration? Fine. How was the feedback from the students who you registered and they are sitting with you in the classroom as well?
The thing is, from MBA, I was not registering. I used to register for bachelor's and for the diploma. So I used to register the school graduates. Okay. Not the professionals. Okay. So they were not under me. They were not. They were not. So all my classmates, because it was a part-time MBA, so all my class fellows were people who were working. Okay. They were working in banks. They were working in different places, and they wanted to up their CVs.
Okay. Doing Montessori course is one thing, but doing an MBA where you have very thick books.
Yeah. And I loved it.
And sitting with them all that time, with your younger kids with you.
Yes, that was a challenge. And I think I was lucky that my husband was around at that time and he was looking after the kids when I could go. My classes were once a month on Friday and Saturday, and the whole month I had to do assignments, which I would manage according to children's schedule. But those 2 days of the month was
that was the time your children were going to school?
My son was, but my daughter was still young.
Still young.
Yeah, she was still young.
So,
no, she started the Montessori also. Yeah.
But your in-laws were still with you?
No,
right?
I was never living with them.
Okay.
They were in the city.
In the neighborhood.
In the yeah, but they were never living with me, so I was always on my own.
On your
my
own.
husband.
How was it like living on your own with the kids now and doing the you know?
I was
academics?
very busy, but I was very focused. I wanted to give my children a good life. Once I became a mother, I couldn't think of anything else other than my children.
Good, that's great.
So for me, from the time I had my son, I was 20, until today, I live for my children.
Oh, great.
So whatever I have done, I've done it for them.
Good.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I had my ups and downs, and probably at times I was not there for them as much, but I tried to cover as much as I could.
Before we come to Azamid case, let's go back and talk about your parents' family.
Yeah.
So you had your father who was a banker, and your mom was a housewife.
She was a housewife.
And you had 2 siblings.
I have one sister and one brother.
One sister and brother.
Yeah.
They both are younger than you.
They're both younger than me.
How was it with them? Were you a bossy sister?
My brother tells me I was.
Okay.
My brother tells me
But you never realized it.
No, because actually, you know, when I was young, I always wanted to be a teacher. And I was good in studies, so my parents would always tell me to help my brother and sister. So my brother tells me that I was very bossy when it comes to studies.
Okay.
And probably he's right, because studies is something very important to me until today.
Until today.
So I probably was. But other than that, no, I don't think, other than that, there was something.
So in these conditions, most often we see that 2 sisters and a brother. Brother is the naughtiest one.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. Oh my God. So who was the naughtiest of all?
He was the best. I think my brother.
No, best. He can still be best being naughty.
No, okay. He was. I'm telling you, he can. I'll give you one small example. You know, on Eid we collect money.
Yeah.
You know, our elders give money. Whatever money he would have, he would go and buy bangles for me and my sister. He would buy rings for us. He would not keep any. And he was young. He was younger than me. He's 2 years or 3 years younger than me. So he was such a good boy, and until today he's a very good son.
Good. Where is he?
He lives in Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, my mother lives with him. Okay. He's a very good husband, father, son.
Wow.
My parents speak very highly of him.
And his name is?
Nabil.
Nabil.
Yeah.
Nabil Khan.
Nabil Zia.
Nabil
Khan
Zia.
is my, yeah.
Okay, how about your sister?
My sister lives in UK. She was little bit, I can't say naughty, but you know, the younger children are the nature of all the elder ones. So she was not naughty, but she had mind of her own, and that was her beauty. She would always stand out, because she would call spade a spade, and she would speak her mind, and she's like this even today.
Outspoken.
Outspoken, and you know, she would not think that, you know, that like, my mother would tell me to sit in a certain way, and girls don't sit like this, and you know, girls don't walk like this, and she would say, I can walk the way I want. So, but she was still obedient, obviously. My family is my parents were very involved, so we had very strong bond with them. But yes, she was little bit, you know, vocal.
How about your dad? Was he always a banker, or?
He's always been a banker. He's a photographer.
And he always lived in Pakistan?
He always lived in Pakistan. And
he was born and lived in Pakistan?
He was born in, my grandfather, my father's father was a finance minister of Pakistan, and my father's come from a very good family, very educated family.
What was your grandfather's name?
Mia Muhammad Yusuf.
Mia Muhammad Yusuf. And your father's name?
Mia Muhammad Shuaib. Yeah.
So politics is there.
Politics is there, but my dad, my grandfather was a finance minister at the time, pre-partition time. So my dad, for example, would have a British nanny at that time, and you know, he went into international schools at that time. So So he's always lived in Pakistan, and he loved it there, and got married, and we were born and everything.
How about your interaction with the cousins and your interaction with the cousins?
Very nice. I love my cousins.
How much is the gang? How big is the gang?
The gang, when I was young, gang was very big. I had a gang in from my mom's side of family and dad's side of family. Dad, because my dad was the youngest. So the eldest, for example, between the difference between my eldest Pupo and my dad was probably 25 years or something of that. So all my cousins were way elder than us. They are like probably elder than my father also, some of my cousins. But my mom's side of family, there were some cousins who are my age, and I'm very fond of them until today. We used to do group dances, we used to go for ice creams, we would go out on bicycles and pick flowers, we would go with jars and we would catch those fireflies.
Good.
So I have very fond memories of them.
Okay, before we go to Muscat, let's still stick with Lahore. Lahore is considered like so many, nowadays there's a big debate going on in Pakistan. Karachi, Lahore, which one is the food capital?
Yeah.
And Gujranwala is also, in the contest.
It's coming up.
Faisalabad is also competing well.
Yeah.
What do you think, since you belong to Lahore?
See, funny enough, I've never been to any of the city other than Lahore.
Oh, really?
So I have no idea.
So it's Lahore.
It's
okay, obvious. How do you see that? What's your interaction with the food? Like,
we are big foodies.
Ice cream is good.
We are big foodies, very big foodies. Like my mom, until today, she doesn't want anyone else to cook her food.
Oh, wow.
She cooks her own food. Because if she doesn't like the food, she doesn't like the food.
Oh.
My daughter, day before yesterday, she has cooked a prawn biryani for 10 people in Canada.
Oh, wow.
And she's just 20. So we come from a family where food is the most important thing.
There's a saying, people jokingly say, eat to live to eat.
We live to eat.
Good.
And I especially, my portions are today, my housemate she's very nice also. So anyway, so we were talking about food, and I was asking, okay, make this for me for lunch and I'll take it to school. And she said, I also want to lose weight like you. So I said, Khalas, you know what I eat, right? I said, you are the one that I give you recipe and you make for me. You know what I eat the same. So she told me, she said, one thing I've noticed, that you're very particular about food. You'll eat little bit, but it has to be perfect. I said, and that's what it is.
Oh, very good.
For me, food is one of the most important.
Good. We were having an argument about it, not an argument, like a discussion. So I said, my first demand when I was born was food. What else I wanted?
We work for food.
We work for food. Okay. Oh, fine. How about Muscat? When you were here, you came here in 97 until 2022. What changes have you seen? Like, of course, infrastructure change and buildings and people and roads and everything. What else?
I remember there was culture.
It's still metropolitan. It was metropolitan.
It was metropolitan. There were a lot of community from India, from Pakistan, from different part of the world, and Oman is a very accepting nation. They're very welcoming nation. So there was, even if you go to Intercon, you go any place, you would see mixed people. So that has not changed. Infrastructure wise, I remember there was no city center. The only place where you could go and shop was Kuram, those Al-Hadi complex. And
that one.
There was no highway. There was only one road that would take to different, literally the whole city was around.
SKU.
Yes, exactly. So Sultan Qaboos Street, that was the only thing. So, and Rui you could go and shop, but that was a busy area. Rui was relatively a busy area.
At that time, right?
And I remember my in-laws were at that time, they were living in Al-Falaj, which was considered to be a very upscale area of that area. And then at that time, Shati was not being made, and then but MQ was there and Kuram was there.
Yeah.
So it was only Rui, Kuram, and MQ.
Okay.
And Al Khair was also not at that time. So all these areas have come later and developed later.
How about you know, celebrations, especially Ramadan and Eid? You were living here with a very small community like your in-laws and you. How were you doing it?
See, the thing is, when your family is around, you don't miss anything. You carry on with the same tradition of your country.
I mean, you know, having parties with non-Pakistanis.
We used to for Diwalis. We used to have parties for Christmas. We used to have parties, but with Pakistani community, I've always been very involved here because the moment I came into a family who's been there already for 20 years.
Yes, yes.
So they welcomed me as a bahu of the family, and I met all the aunties and everyone, and they all welcomed me, and they're still part of my life. You know?
Okay, so they were not just one family, they were a number of families.
Yes, there are some people that I consider my family more now because I see them more often, and they have stood by me. So I have met some really, really, really nice people here.
Amazing,
yeah.
Amazing. Now, you have been working in Majan, and you resigned, and you resigned first or you joined Azan first?
I resigned.
You resigned
and
first.
I took a break of, I think, a year, 1 year or so. I took a break.
So who introduced you to Azan?
So I was looking for a job, and I was just asking people around at that time. So a friend of mine had someone working in after Majan, so working in Azan bin Qais.
Okay.
So they had passed my CV on to the management here, and the management came. They wanted to introduce business studies in Azan bin Qais at that time. So they called me in for the interview. They asked me, how would you introduce? What would you do? I told them about the books and everything, and that's how they hired.
So you were hired as a teacher at
I was
first
hired
place.
as a teacher, yes, yes.
And you still teach? Sometimes.
This year I have not taught.
But until last year.
Until last year I was teaching.
So when was it like they decided, or you decided to switch from or to join the PCO team along with the teaching?
Okay.
They picked you or you picked it because they already knew that, and you already worked as a registration team before.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
See, I was picked to be in this position. I didn't know that this position was open, or I didn't know that I could do, because a lot of positions are Omanized. So I was picked by the management. I didn't think that they knew that I existed. Because I was always on the second floor of this building, and I had no interaction with anyone downstairs. I would just go to my second floor.
We are talking about Azan in Bosher.
No,
it was in Bosher before.
No, I became head of PCO here.
But where were you working as a teacher? Here?
Also here.
Okay, so we are not addressing Azan as Azan. We are addressing ABQ Seeb.
Yes. So I started with Azan Bosher.
You started with Bosher.
With Bosher.
And then you were transferred here.
No. Then I resigned.
Okay.
For about 3-4 years, and then I came back to Seeb, a branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did you stay there in Azan, Bosher?
7-8 years.
7-8
years. Yeah.
As a teacher.
No, I grew. I was hired as a teacher. Then I became head of department. Then I became head of library and head of department of business studies, and I was deputy head of secondary for about 7 years. Then I became head of secondary.
Oh wow.
And when I became head of secondary, I was head of secondary for 1 year, and that's when I resigned.
And you resigned because they were switching you?
No.
No.
I resigned because I parallelly started making my second profession of cake artist.
Okay.
I am a qualified cake artist, and I make all sorts of customized cake.
Wow.
The art was there, and because I was this part of my family, so I pursued cake art. So I had opened a bakery called Cloud9 opposite Muscat Private Hospital.
Oh, wow.
So you know, sometimes it was very difficult to get female visas and everything. So they got me a managing director visa, and it was going to expire. That was the last year.
Okay.
So I had to resign to be able to start my business.
Okay.
So that's when I resigned, and I told my management at that time that this year will be my last year, because I have to do justice to my next
business.
venture that I have started, and if it doesn't work, I will come back, and if it works, I'll stay.
But it was a way too big decision, being a head of secondary for a year.
Yes.
And like as we see it, that is almost at the top,
Yes.
like next to principal.
In 7 years,
right?
yeah.
And then growing and working and getting the confidence of the management and everybody, and resigning for the bakery.
Yeah, because that was also like my baby. I didn't spend money, time, sleepless nights. I was doing this business for, I think I was making cakes from the house also for about 7 years.
Oh. How did it come up to your mind that you can become a cake artist?
It's a funny story. So I was, you know, I love cooking. I love food, you know.
Good.
And so I used to do a lot of, I used to invite people, I used to entertain a lot. So I used to make a cake, and I would try to decorate it according to the theme, and I would take a picture and I would post it on Facebook saying,
social media,
just write time pass. There was the topic of my album. So whatever I would cook, I take a picture, time pass.
Okay.
I had no intention of starting a business. So then, you know, sometimes a friend of mine would say, oh it's my son's birthday, would you make a cake? I said, yeah, I mean, I can.
Okay.
So she said, can you please do me a favor? I said, okay, fine, I'll make the cake. So I would make the cake for this person, I make the cake for that person, and I would not charge money. And then my friend said, no, this is not right, you have to start charging. I said, but I don't know how to charge. You know, they said, no, you have to charge. Said, okay, fine, I'll charge. Then I started charging whatever minimum to make cake for them. And they liked the cake. I got interested in polishing my skill. I would go online, read, try, make, decorate. That's how I started. And then I started getting corporate orders, bank orders, ministry orders. And I was wondering, how do people know, you know?
Okay.
So at that time, I had just opened a page called Nadiya the Cake Designer.
Okay.
And I would, and I became famous with Nadiya the Cake Designer, and everyone would just say, oh, you are Nadiya the Cake Designer? I said, yes, I'm Nadiya the Cake Designer. That's how I started.
And then, you know, you are also working as a teacher.
Yes, and I didn't want to be so famous, because I didn't intend to start a parallel business, you know. And I was scared, because after 7 years, people would know me.
You know, nowadays we read news about, you know, crackdown on people
who working from home.
I
had no idea this is not allowed.
Not until then. There are some new regulations now, like recent regulations for like 3-4 years. Before that, it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe it was there or it was not.
Previously,
there,
like still there are. I still believe this is a good thing. Like people are making normal food on non-hygienic atmosphere at home.
Yeah,
right?
That was the reason.
That's unfair. That shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But 2 years back, before Corona, I heard that they were cracking down on cakes as well.
Yes.
They were coming closer to the bakery things as well.
Yes.
And that was, you know, a piece of cake for the ladies, especially those who were staying home. Anyway, so you have already been working for 7 years.
Yes.
Then you opened an outlet. How was that?
Yeah. So when I was working for 7 years, and at that time these new rules and regulations came where it is not allowed to run the business from the house. So then I had and there's a very interesting twist. What I strongly believe, whatever is meant to be maktub, it happens.
Yeah, of course.
So I had done my MBA with one of a friend. She was not a friend, and it's a very funny incident. I'll tell you. You'll find it very interesting. So I had met someone who became my friend and who eventually became my business partner also. So when I was doing my Montessori, I met a girl, and she became a good friend, and she would always talk to me about her cousin and how nice she is. So when I went for my MBA, I met this girl and I said, oh,
you are the cousin
the
that
cousin
I heard
of,
a lot about you.
that I heard a lot about you and everything. And she said, yeah. And we just said hello, hi. And then we had to all introduce ourselves to be able to make a study group.
Yeah.
So when I was introducing myself, I told everyone that I have done a Montessori course and I've done applied psychology, and so this friend of mine who's become a very close friend of mine now, and she said, she came with her friends to do MBA.
Okay.
So she said, okay, definitely we're not taking this Pakistani girl. She has psychology background and she's never studied business.
Okay.
Let's not choose her. Let's choose someone else who's smarter. And here, she was the only one I knew, and there was a girl group everywhere else. It was boys group. So I went to her and I said, "Can I be part of your MBA group?" And I just upfront, I went to her, and she said, "I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me ask my friends." And I said, "What do you want to ask? Who do you want to ask?" "I will be in your group." And she said, okay, fine. You know, it was more of a like, okay, whatever. So I became a part of their group, and I remember our first assignment when our teacher taught us how to do our MBA assignment. I'd never studied business before. So I did my assignment. So he took my assignment and he put it on the notice board.
Oh, wow.
And he said, this is how you do assignments.
Oh, wow.
And I got an A star in my first assignment.
Oh, wow.
So I went to her and I said, now.
Wow. So now I'm going to choose the group.
Yeah, but I stayed with them.
Course,
but then I remember every time I used to, there was a study group, and if I was not, because I was the only one who had children and they were all single girls. And so if I would not come, they were like, why are you not coming? We can pick you up, we can drop you back. So yeah, so then she did my MBA with me. So she also became close to me while doing MBA. And sometimes when I used to make cakes and I would call her, I need help, and she was my neighbor. Okay. So I need help, would you be able to help me? And she would come and help me, and we would make cakes together. And you know, and then when I needed a kafil to be able to start a business, she's Omani, so she was there.
And
also.
how was it when you started?
The business,
you needed a lot of money to start it?
Yeah, I needed a lot of money to start
And you arranged it yourself? Or
we arranged through finance, loans, and yeah, so it was the thing is we could have done with less money, but when you start a business for the first time, you want it to be larger than life. Yeah. And we end up spending more than you should on cosmetic beauty of the place. Okay. Now that I look back, I could have done
with a lesser money. Okay. And who was running it exactly? You hired people?
I hired people
first,
but I was a managing director of that place. Okay. It was my brainchild. It was all creativity was mine. How to do, though I hired people from Philippines and they are very good, they were very artistic, but it was more of my management. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And it was just a showroom, or it was also
a kitchen? It was a kitchen and a showroom. Yeah.
Kitchen and a showroom, because now we see that some of the bakeries have only showroom, no kitchen. Yes. They are made in some factory somewhere.
Yes. No, we used to make the cake from scratch.
Okay. Yeah. And how about the orders and how it went first week?
It actually went off really well. It went off really well. Later on, it became a little bit slower because of the competition. You know, a lot of people started doing this, so it was a little bit slower afterward. But in the beginning, it was doing really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it go after you resigned and continued it the full-time thing?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah.
And did you make good money?
Yeah, I made good money. But just before COVID time, I could feel that I need to sell it because I am a single mother and I have financial responsibilities. I have to look after, I have to pay rents, and you know, business is good, but business is like, for example, a cake shop would not do well in Ramadan.
Of course,
you know.
Of course.
It would not do as well in summer, but you still have to manage your responsibilities. Yeah. So I felt to be able to give my children again because as I said, I just, my world revolves around them. So I wanted, at that time Mikhail had graduated, my son, and that's when I resigned, and Maha was still in school. So I sent Mikhail to Canada, and then for Maha I was looking after obviously the business.
Okay, for 5 years you ran it, and you sold it.
Yeah.
How was it selling it?
I was crying so much.
Oh my God.
I was crying so much, but it had to be done. It was love and leave situation.
And God forbid there was no conflict for selling it.
No, there was no
anything.
conflict. No.
Yeah.
This business partner, she's a very nice lady.
What's her name?
Her name is Shada.
Shada.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's very nice, and her family has become my family also now.
Good.
They are Omanis, and they really they look after me, my children, my family. They very
After the bakery, you took some break to join Seeb?
No.
You quickly joined Seeb.
Yeah.
And that was your promise that you kept.
Yeah.
That when I'm done with that, I will rejoin.
Yeah.
So you joined here in Seeb, not Bosher anymore.
No, so
they offered you both.
I wanted to go to Bosher. At that time, they didn't have an opening at Bosher.
Okay.
So the principal of that time had called, because he knew how I worked. So he called the principal of Seeb, and he said that, you know, though in between also I was given a.
What year are we at now?
I think I joined in 2009, 19?
18.
Yeah, something. But at that time also, in between they offered me jobs at from Seeb two times to come part-time or whatever the way I want to do. But I had to focus on my business to see whether I am able to make it or not. So I told them I would love to, but I can't right now.
So you joined Seeb in 2018, 2 years and the COVID.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the school was running online, but we can also see it was not just running on computer, but by PCOs.
Yes.
And that's how last year's awards, we see that your team and you yourself was awarded and got positions as compared to other PCOs, other PCO teams. Our team got the most awards.
Humbled, yes.
Your team got the most awards.
Yeah.
Okay. 18, 19, you were working as PCO?
No,
head?
I was hired as a business studies teacher again. So from head of secondary I resigned, and I was back to head teaching. And I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So I started as a business studies teacher, and the moment I joined, I remember in August, by December, head of secondary told me to be head of department, and I was head of department. And then after a few months they said, now you also should be head of GEDX. They probably could see my experience from the way I work. Then I was head of GEDX, and then few months later I was asked to be head of PCO.
Okay. Let's talk about some names in the organization. In Bosher, who do you want to name, principal or teachers or your fellows? You want to speak about it?
I want to, honestly, Mr. Kenneth. I have very high regards for him.
Mr. Kenneth
Butishi,
who left us 2 years back.
Yes. I have very high regards for him. He was head of secondary, and I was deputy for 7 years.
Oh wow!
And I
in Bosher.
In Bosher.
And here he was just some science HOD.
Yes, but he came as a head of secondary here, and that's when I became head of secondary there.
Oh, wow.
So he was amazing. I mean, he used to work very well, and he used to be like a guide. He used to guide me a lot. So he was very good. Vishali, I've worked with. I was deputy head of secondary. She was deputy head of primary. Then Dr. Nell, the principal. I have very high regards for him. Before Dr. Nell was Danny Harrison. Me and him, we joined the same day. I have very high regards for him. Ms. Sheikha was there, she's not there anymore. These are just to name a few. Rania was working with me at that time.
In Bosher?
In Bosher.
Now, in Seeb, when you joined, who was the principal?
Melvin, Mr. Melvin was the
Mr.
principal.
Melvin.
Yeah.
Mr. Melvin is, when we go back to the family tree, you know, from Mr. Chal, he was the fifth?
I'm not sure.
How much is the gap between
after
Mr. Melvin and Mr. Shaw? How many people?
After Melvin, Miss Natalia came.
Miss Natalia.
And after
Mr. Shaw. Okay, Melvin is there.
Yeah.
And how did you find working with Melvin?
I didn't get much time because I think he left in December, if I'm not mistaken, and I joined in August, something of that
like
sort.
That. Okay.
So I didn't get much of him. And as I told you, I was mostly on my second floor, and you know, when teachers come, how their timetables are, they don't even know whether it's day or night. Sometimes they don't even remember their own name. So I was just like, I was in my own bubble.
Yeah.
So
who was the head of secondary when you joined Seeb?
When I joined, at that time, Martin was there.
Martin was there.
Yeah,
After Martin, Paul came, and now Mr. Barney.
After Martin, Barney was acting for a while.
Right.
And then after Barney, Paul came. And after Paul,
Barney is
back again.
Barney's back. Yeah. Good. And people working here, like when you joined and until now, who do you want to give credit or want to acknowledge or say something about?
I think two people that I would really want to give credit to, first of all, is Charles.
Good.
Because I think that...
And that's not because he's your current boss?
No, because I think I'm very critical about people's work because I have very high standard myself, you know. And it's not that we never had any argument and it's all, you know, that's also not the case. But I've observed his work ethics and his approach to things. He's a task-oriented manager. He has his facts in place before anyone walks in his room. So if I go with any problem, he has facts in place and he knows exactly what he's going to advise me and how to solve that issue. And he is... It may not be in my favor or be in my favor, that's not the point.
Doesn't matter.
The point is that he would make the decision which is going to be good for the organization.
For the school.
And good for the head office also, good for the organization and good for the teachers.
And acceptable all around.
All around. And that he's able to do because he has done his homework of what is required by each stakeholder. And to be able to do it on split of second and have all the statistical data all the time with him, I'm very impressed the way he works.
Good.
I'm very impressed. And that is what has made me respect his professionalism also more.
Wow.
He's very professional and he's very, you know, he comes across very strong, but he's a very caring, very warm person. That's why I really respect him.
Very good.
And I think I've learned a lot from him. And he's a man of a few words.
Wow.
You know, he would not say a lot. He's not a man of a lot of praise. He doesn't. But he praises at the right time.
Good.
So that's...
Since you work with him and you coordinate a lot, like I don't get much chance to speak to him even months. I just see him in the corridor like once or twice, that's it. So my role is entirely different as your interaction, your communication with him is entirely different. Who's the other guy?
Mr. Humayun.
Mr. Humayun, okay.
And the reason why I'm saying for Mr. Humayun also, I'll tell you, that when I was reluctant to take this PCO job.
Okay.
Because that's not something that I have done. You know, I was not asked to be head of registration at that time. I was asked to be head of PCO at that time. And PCO was a foreign concept for me. And PCO was an admin concept for me, which meant that I will be sitting on a seat which can be Omanized anytime. And I had no idea how to deal with parents and how to take care of parents. What is it? What am I going to do?
This is something new.
Yeah, it was something new. And then at that time, Mr. Humayun, the way he guided me step by step, he made me understand the expectations of the management. He made me understand, Natalia made me understand the expectation of the school. And I was able to see the expectation of the parents. So that had made me win those awards if it is credit goes to me, but it is actually not, it doesn't go to me, it actually goes to my teachers who have taught me. So I remember at times I would just text him and I say, I don't understand this, please teach me more grasses, or or if he was busy he would say, okay, call. He would tell Sheikha from Sohar, she was in this position for a long time. He would call Sheikha, please guide Nadiya, she's confused, or he would say Asiya from other school, head of PCO, please guide Nadiya, or he would find people who could teach me, so for me to be able to start walking in this position. So that I think helped me a lot in me being here.
Why does it look identical for your primary school walking in your principal's office?
Yeah, right? It is similar to that. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it. You see,
since we are like, I'm going through your life for the first time. I'm matching it. I'm seeing the patterns.
Right. See, I'm very big on learning. I have a very intriguing mind and growth mindset. Anyone who teaches me something new, I become their fan.
Good.
It can be a smallest person, youngest person teaching me patience that I would learn. I watch movies, and when I was watching yesterday a series, and it had that character said one thing that I learned something, and I have written in my notes. So it said that never believe what you hear and partially believe what you see.
Oh wow.
So for me, my switch, my tick is learning. So whoever teaches me something, whether it's a book, whether it's a person, whether it's a TV show, whether I get inspired by someone, it stays for me, and I respect those people a lot.
Okay. TV shows you mentioned, and when I asked you before about the TV, and you said that you think it is a waste of time.
Yes.
How do you waste your time? Do you have any time to waste?
Yes, now I do, because my kids have gone.
Okay.
So I live on my own, so now I have time to waste, but I am...
That's very interesting way to talk about it.
I have time to waste now. But I am still on the verge of thinking, what should I do with my time and not keep wasting it? Because I see every year what have I achieved. So for now, what I do after my work, I go to gym. So I reach there at a certain time. After my gym, I go, I love sunset, I like to meditate. I go to beach, a particular beach that I love. So I go there, I see sunset, I walk there, I meditate, I pray. That's me and my time. And then I go home. I reach by 6:30. I have my light dinner, whatever I need to eat, shower. By the time it's 7 o'clock, 7 to 9 is my time to waste.
Okay, good.
So I waste those 2 hours, whether I want on social media, whether I want to watch a movie, a series. These days I'm watching a very interesting series. Fiction, I generally don't like fiction, I like non-fiction more, motivation and things, but I'm watching and
Which one is that?
It's called Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I finished it in 2 days.
Right? It's very nice. It's very nice. So I'm left with last two episodes.
It's trending nowadays.
Yeah, so today I have last 2 episodes to watch. So anyway, so that is, this dialogue is in that series. So that's what I do, and then 9:30 I sleep. I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning.
And it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the whole day goes.
So how I see it, how you present it and how I see it. So 9 o'clock PTV Khabarnama is starting, and you're going to bed.
Even today.
Even today.
Even today.
Though there is no Khabarnama anymore, and you're no more in Lahore sitting in your parents' house, it's your bedtime. Okay, and that you said before that you are very particular about your routine and everything.
And I'm very particular about my health. It's very important to me. My health, my well-being, my headspace. I choose positivity. It's a deliberate choice that I make.
Since we spoke about this Wednesday, like you were saying something about criminal psychology. So I watched the series twice. Once like before, and then once I repeated it during the COVID time.
Which one?
The Mentalist.
Ah,
I would
okay.
recommend you.
Okay, I would like to
Believe me.
watch that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
The
you would
Mentalist.
you'd love
It's an
to watch it,
interesting
and you will find it interesting.
It's a series?
It's a series
How
of
many episodes?
like 6 seasons. Each season has got 23 episodes.
Ooh, that's a long one.
But you know, you won't believe each season is very much you know, involving you.
And
You
it's a mystery,
It's a
suspense.
crime.
Ah, okay.
Crime solving, but the way the man does it, it's out of
Yeah.
world experience for myself. Like I learned a lot, and I still believe that I may start watching it any other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch.
Or else I would suggest BBC's Sherlock.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That
I've heard.
seasons.
That's something that I want to watch.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably. There's another very nice true crime series I've watched. It's called Serpent.
Serpent. Okay.
Watch that. That's very interesting.
Nowadays we are like right in the morning today. We are my wife and I are watching The Blacklist. We are on the
Blacklist.
season 9 right now.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah. Okay, but my recommendation is to
The
Sherlock,
Mentalist and
though
Mentalist.
it is already on your
Yeah.
list, and the other is The Mentalist.
Okay.
I would
I'll
highly
watch that.
recommend that.
I will watch that.
Anyway, you mentioned your mother is in Canada, your brother is in Canada,
Yeah.
your children are in Canada. How about your husband? And then you said you are single.
So I'm divorced. I've raised my children alone. My son was,
It happened way longer.
yeah, my son was around 10
Okay,
and my daughter was around 6.
must
5,
be very
6.
terrible. I don't want to go in deep in it.
Yeah, so yeah, I've raised them on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and never thought.
Never say never.
Good.
You know, you never know what life has, but I was so consumed by being a mother.
And you never thought about going back to your parents? You just
That was
stayed
not an
and
option for me.
And you were doing some job at that time? You were
Yes,
running your
I was
business?
working in Majan College
Majan
at that
College.
time.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I was
were
working in Majan.
on your own, definitely.
And no, it happened when I was working in Majan, or maybe I just joined Azan Bin Kes around that time.
Around that
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Tell me something about your kids before we finish. We are on the.
Yes.
We are finishing by now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have two wonderful kids. My son's name is Mikhail Khan.
Good.
And he is living in Canada and he's working in a bank.
Good. Like his granny.
Like his grandfather.
Grandfather.
And he has just graduated with business and marketing. And he has just started a business of online marketing solutions.
Okay.
You know, so he has just started that. And he's in the process of getting the passport and everything sorted. My daughter, her name is Maha. She's very close to my heart. And she's gone to Canada 2 months back. She's becoming an architect.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she's 20
So
years
the art is coming back to the family.
Yes, she was from
Okay.
grade 8. She knew what she wants to do.
Very good. Very good.
And they're very good children. They're obedient. They're creative. And whoever have my cousins, my family, a lot of my family lives in Canada. So whoever have met my son and my daughter, and when I go back to Pakistan, I meet my cousins and they all say that they are very well raised and well mannered.
Mashallah.
And it makes me very happy because whenever I used to sit with my children and I used to talk to them, I used to tell them that never ever make me hear that you're not raised well. You're raised by a single mother. And I said, I want you, wherever you go in your life, whoever meets you, I want them to see that you're raised well.
Good.
So when I hear that, it makes me very emotional, and I always wanted them to be in Canada and settle down in Canada, and I've achieved that goal.
How about you, ever thinking of going to them?
Probably I will eventually. I don't know when, but as of now, I'm fine here.
Okay. Before we close, before we finish for today, do you want to speak about any person in your life, entire life? Azam is done, Your brothers, sisters are done.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
dad, a
yeah,
little mom, and okay.
yeah.
Anybody else? Your friend Shada is done.
Yes.
Right? We spoke about Mr. Humayun, Mr. Shah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Rania and
Yes,
people in
yes.
ABQ.
Yeah.
Any other?
Yes. I think I would want to talk about my mother.
Good.
My mother, I think I have yet to come across any involved mother the way my mother was involved in us, and I don't remember ever that she has shouted at us. She has beaten, raised her hand on us. I don't remember she has said no to us, that no, you can't do this. She always handled our childhood so nicely that we just grew the way she wanted us to grow. She's a very wise woman. Until today, I have never seen her emotions. She doesn't confront. She's always calm, she's always balanced, and she has put qualities in us that I didn't even realize that she was putting. Like, smallest thing is like, oh, if you walk straight, you know, you look more graceful. It's the smallest thing, but the way she used to teach us these small things, you know, now that wherever I have reached, I give my credit to her, because coming from a very middle class family where I didn't even have passport at that time. My passport was made because I was supposed to be married and coming to Oman. So I've come from a very simple background, and here I am. I work with so many different nationalities and get along well with everyone. And alhamdulillah, I think wherever I've reached, I mean, I have aspirations to go further, but I can't complain, you know. Good. So I think it's all because of the upbringing that my mom has given.
And your dad?
My dad.
How long ago?
My dad was a funny guy. He was a friend.
Wow.
So my mom was the army one, and my dad was whatever you want to do. So I would tell I used to love my pupus, my father's sister. So when Baba would take us from the house to go to school, and I would tell Baba, I don't want to go to school today. I don't want to go to school. He said, okay, if you don't tell your mother, I will drop you to my sister's house. And his sister would teach me art and craft, and I used to love that. I said, yes, I will not tell Mama.
That's wonderful.
So he was like our buddy. So he would drop me to my pupu's house, where I would learn new skills, and my pupu also was a person who taught me a lot, so I have very high regards for her. So she would teach me art and craft, and then I would go home, and my mom would say, you didn't get any homework today? I said, yeah, the teacher was absent today. And my father, I never told my mom at that time that, you know, I used to go to my pupu's house, but yeah, my father was like that. He was a friend.
Doctorate is one thing that you have in future.
Yeah.
Who knows when is the Canada thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many countries you have visited and you still wish to visit? What else do you want to do?
I want to do PhD for sure.
PhD
I want to do management and leadership.
In the line?
I want to travel around the world. I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Egypt. I want to see pyramids. I love history. I came back from Greece. That was nice. I want to go to Bali. I like beach. I want to go to India. I want to see Taj Mahal.
A big list.
Yeah. I'm a traveler. I want to go to Iceland. Iceland is a country of fire and ice. So I'm a traveler. Now I want to travel because now I don't have my children with me. So I can, and I'm in an admin contract, so I don't have to have the summer and this thing. I can take one
holidays,
week.
Like that.
So yeah.
Nice been talking to you.
Thank you very much, sir.
And we don't know how much time we have taken.
Yes.
We are going to check.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
The journey itself was fun. Like that's what I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Like, some people say that, but I am deeply enjoying exploring biographies.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning a lot when I'm listening to people talking, and as a feedback, when I meet them afterwards, they tell me like, they also recall something new when they
Yeah,
forgot so many
yeah.
things.
Now that you mentioned few things, I can connect the dots now. Yeah.
Okay, we finish it for now. Maybe we'll be sitting again some other time
You
for
never know.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.